Oof. Hi there, this is Tata, and welcome to the Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Friday, June 23rd, 2023, and for tonight, I will be reviewing both Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Let's kick things off with everybody's favorite Friday night show, Friday Night SmackDown. This SmackDown was not the best, I would say. Tonight's SmackDown was horrible. There were a few things that I liked, but I disliked the majority of that show. And there's a reason why. Apparently, Vince McMahon made a lot of changes to the script. Some of the matches that were announced were scrapped. Fightful Select does report that most of their day's SmackDown script was changed ahead of the show on Friday, June 23rd. One talent even asked, did SmackDown get Vince? Many of the matches that had been promoted ahead of the episode of SmackDown were adjusted and cut. And there were significant changes to the version of the show that existed Friday morning. They can confirm WRKD's wrestling tweet that several times were frustrated by all of the changes. So, what they're talking about was this tweet right here that KWRD Wrestling tweeted out. So, they're just reiterating that. But yeah, there was a lot of changes tonight. Fightful Select goes on to say that the originally planned LA Knight triple threat match, which saw him face off Butch and Santos Escobar, was changed to a singles match, and a previously unplanned Charlotte Flair match was added to the card. Bayley versus Shotzi was scrapped after Bayley was in town and did local media for the show. So there you have it. Tonight's show was drastically changed a lot, which explains a lot of things. So tonight was the beginning of the Bloodline Civil War, and it kicked off with the Usos cutting a promo in the ring. So this promo was okay. Basically, the whole gist of this promo was that they're going to go to war with their family in London on July 1st, and that Roman Reigns and Sikoa are going to take a trip to the Uso penitentiary. So this promo did nothing for me. There was really nothing special about this promo. Roman Reigns was not on SmackDown tonight. He will be at SmackDown next week, which is the go home show to Money in the Bank. So this is not a good way to kick off Friday Night SmackDown with the Usos cutting a promo. I didn't like that. So we had Rey Mysterio versus LA Knight, which, like I talked about at the very beginning, this was originally supposed to be a triple threat match, but it was turned into a singles match. So this was actually a really good match. LA Knight showing that he is over with the crowd. And I'm really happy that LA Knight was victorious in this match. He got the victory over Rey Mysterio after he hit the BFT, blunt force trauma, to him. Because remember, last week he did lose to Santos Escobar. So I was a little worried about him losing here tonight, but he won. So I'm really happy about that. However, I'm also a little concerned because, with Money in the Bank being next week, you know how that goes. If you win on the go home show, I know this wasn't the go home show, but if you have momentum going in to pay-per-view, you're normally going to lose. I'm really hoping that doesn't mean that LA Knight's going to lose here. But after the match, LA Knight attempted to pull, it looked like he was trying to pull off Rey Mysterio's mask, but Santos Escobar came to Rey Mysterio's aid, and that was that. So after this, Sikoa, we go backstage, and Sikoa enters the arena with Paul Heyman, and he Samoan spikes Ridge Holland, and he says he is not in the mood tonight. So after this leads to a segment with Sheamus, which he tells Adam Pearce that he wants a Solo Sikoa. So he goes out into the ring and he calls out Solo Sikoa and tells him he wants to challenge him to a match tonight on SmackDown, which is the main event of tonight's show. But I'll talk more about that when we get to it. So then we have a unified women's tag team title match. It's Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey versus Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre. So I don't know if anybody caught this, but Ronda Rousey was wearing her White Ranger inspired attire. Here it is. She's previously worn this attire before, so I noticed it right away. And even when the first time she wore it, the late JDF sent out a tweet about it. So that was a really cool aspect. That's probably the only thing I like. So Raquel Rodriguez she wasn't on commentary, but she was like watching the match. And so whoever won this match would defend the titles on all three brands. So Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So if I recall correctly, that was supposed to be the original plan, but then NXT created their own women's tag titles, and here we are. So this match was alright, but it's no surprise that Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey won. They won by submission. Shayna Baszler putting the clutch to Alba Fyre, and Ronda Rousey doing the armbar to Isla Dawn. A new show tomorrow night, AEW Collision. Yes, I'm aware. Gonna watch Collision. So at the end of the match, Raquel Rodriguez enters the ring, and Ronda asks her what she's doing there in the first place. Raquel said that she's there because she wants a rematch for the title she never lost, and so Liv Morgan is officially back. And so it seems like they're going to set up Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan for those titles. In my opinion, since Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey just won those titles, they should keep those titles and, establish them. But we'll see what happens. So we get the Grayson Waller effect with Pretty Deadly. This segment, I was not a huge fan of this segment. All they were doing was just talking. Then the whole point of this segment was it was supposed to set up for the match that followed was a tag team match of Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. But before I get into that, I just want to say, Grayson Waller has been on SmackDown how many, times now? And he has yet to wrestle. I haven't heard this. He has yet to wrestle. So it's like, is he ever going to wrestle? Is he out with an injury or something that he's not able to wrestle and we're just doing these talk shows? I was not a huge fan of this segment. So we get the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly, and this was an alright match. Montez Ford ripped off Alton Prince's what was it? What does he call it? The bralette, and then he put it on, which I thought was pretty hilarious. There's a double team to Alton Prince, but ultimately Pretty Deadly wins this when they do the roll up to Angelo Dawkins. Alton Prince puts his feet on the rope, and Kit Wilson is he's holding Prince's feet. So Pretty Deadly is victorious, and they are going to face Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the undisputed tag titles next week. So I'm pretty sure they're going to lose that. I would think that they're going to lose, right? We get Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans. No idea why this match happened. The only notable thing that happened is that Charlotte Flair did the tranquilo pose, or better yet, tranquila, because she is female. So tranquila. If you don't know anything about Spanish, in Spanish there's masculine and feminine. So the masculine would be the O, and the feminine would be the A. So that's why it would be tranquila pose. Pretty awful they should be called. So Charlotte Flair wins by submission. I don't know what the whole point of this match was. We should have gotten Bayley versus Shotzi, but until we get this random match. And then at the end, Asuka attacks Charlotte. And next week, they're going to have their match. I really hope Charlotte Flair doesn't win. It says, you actually like the segment with Grayson Waller? Thank you for confirmation. So after this Charlotte Flair match, we go backstage, and Bianca Belair's asking Adam Pearce that she's basically gonna watch Charlotte versus Asuka, and Adam Pearce says her she's barred from ringside, and Bianca Belair questions whether she should trust Adam Pearce. Honestly, feel like they're gonna set up a triple threat match. It's probably gonna be Bianca versus Charlotte versus Asuka. That's what I think. So the main event So the main event ends up being Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa. And this match was actually pretty decent. I was actually enjoying this match. You had Sheamus doing the 10 beats to the Baron to Solo Sikoa, but then the finish happened. So Solo Sikoa put Sheamus through the barricade, and the referee stopped the match. At the end, like EMTs came out, and Solo Sikoa was throwing them around. And then the Usos came down, and they pretty much were beating down on Solo Sikoa. And it basically ended with the Usos standing tall over. So this is very interesting that this happened because let me see, 3 out of 10 worst SmackDown of the year. Adam Pearce crossed the line somehow. This triple threat match, I will be okay. And the reason why I say this is interesting that happened because Solo Sikoa took out Rich Holland earlier in the night, and then he did this to Sheamus. I don't know if you guys were aware, but on Wednesday, Sheamus there was actually an interview that dropped with Sheamus. This is from the Sportster, but they quote the interview. So it says, during the interview with Metro, Sheamus expressed his disappointment in WWE's handling of his faction. He says that WWE's continuous passing up of the Brawling Brutes is frustrating considering the amount of talent he sees in Butch and Ridge Holland. Sheamus goes on to say, and I quote, I just don't think they're really capitalized on the group. I don't think that they've really let us show what we can do. This stop start stuff is really hard when you're trying to highlight young talent. It's frustrating, So I don't know, maybe we'll get an opportunity to show what we can really do as a group a lot because a lot of those other groups who are out there now have definitely got an opportunity that we haven't had to do some storyline stuff, some character stuff that's kind of been a shame, mate, to be honest, considering the talent that's in there, unquote. How you can make that argument for the Viking Raiders as well. But it's interesting that what happened to Ridge Holland and Sheamus tonight on SmackDown 2 days after that interview drop. I wonder if Ridge Holland getting taken out by Solo Sikoa and Sheamus getting his match stopped was a punishment on WWE's end for Sheamus speaking out about his frustrations over the booking of the Brawling Brutes. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Ridge Holland getting taken out tonight and Sheamus getting put to that barricade and basically had his match stopped? Do you guys think that was a form of punishment for him speaking out about the frustration of the Brawling Brutes? Let me know in the live shadow in the comment section down below. But I do agree. This was pretty bad SmackDown. And I'm going to be a little bit more generous and give it a 4 out of 10 just because I did like that LA Knight versus Rey Mysterio match. Butch needs to be Pete Dunne again, like he was in the UK champion. That's the Bruiserweight we need. Yeah, we definitely do need the Bruiserweight. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of reaction he gets at Money in the Bank. I think it was a form of punishment. Yeah, right? It seems like it was a form of punishment. It seems kind of odd that this happened after that interview dropped. So we'll see what happens for that. But to me, it seems like it was a punishment. Like it was WWE's way of punishing Sheamus and Ridge Holland because Sheamus spoke out over his frustrations. All right, so now with that being said, that concludes the Friday Night SmackDown review. Now we're going to talk about AEW Rampage, which kicked off with Chaos versus United Empire and Swerve Strickland. So this was actually a really good match. I actually really liked this. It was a good way to kick off Friday night. Let's say Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night Rampage. I can see and hear the Bruiserweight chants already, right? So, like I said, this is a fun match. One spot that I liked was when Chaos did a 4-way hug in the middle of the ring. But the United Empire was victorious after they did the hidden blade to you? I don't know how to say his name. But really good match. AEW SmackDown. Yeah, AEW SmackDown. So we had an Adam. Well, we were supposed to get an Adam Cole in ring promo, but really nothing. He didn't get a chance to say anything because as he was doing his entrance, MJF interrupted and he said that he wanted to thank Adam Cole for giving him the confidence to accept the match against Tanahashi. And then MJF says he got Adam Cole a match against Tom Lawler. And so, like, let me see. AEW SmackDown sponsored by Snapple and Mountain Dew. Here, that's funny. And so then Adam Cole gets attacked here, and MJF is just taking his sweet time going to the ring. He takes off his scarf, he takes off his watch, and like he's just stalling to get there. Let me see. AEW SmackDown sponsored by Castro GTX. This, yeah, that's funny. So apparently this was MJF's first appearance on Rampage. And this is all that went down with MJF and Adam Cole. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a rematch between them somewhere down the road. Next, we get a trios match. It's the Acclaimed and Daddy Az versus a couple of jobbers whose names I didn't catch. I don't even think we knew their names. I'm not even going to talk about the match because there's really nothing more to it. You could take a guess as to who won. I don't think I need to tell you who won that match. But I'm going to talk about what happened afterwards. So Harley Cameron interrupts and she says she's there to help. And she wants them to picture the Acclaim and Harley Cameron. And she basically starts like rapping. She's actually not a bad singer. I don't know if you guys have ever heard her music, but she's actually a really talented singer. If you guys are familiar, if you guys remember the Iconics, Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, when after they were released from WWE, they actually went over to Impact Wrestling and Harley Quinn performed their theme song. It's called The Inspiration because that's the name that they performed under, The Inspiration. So it's actually a really good song. I like that song. So if you guys haven't heard it, you guys can listen to it. It's on YouTube. And if you have heard it, let me know in the comment section or in the live chat. What do you guys think of Harley Quinn's The Inspiration song? Because I actually like it. But then again, I did like it. I did like the Iconics, and not only that, but she performed the song during their debut on for Impact Wrestling at Bound for Glory 2021. What a train wreck of a segment this was. Harley Carmen is awful on the mic, and she was awful with the rapping. You didn't know she performed? Yeah, she performed. Again, check out, at least for me, check out the song The Inspiration. It's the theme song for Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee when they became The Inspiration. They used that song on Impact. She actually performed that song live when they made their debut at Bound for Glory 2021. She was actually, I like the song, but I could understand if some people don't like Harley Cameron. So she does this rap about Anthony Bowens, about how supposedly he's like into her and how they would make a cute couple. But he asked her if like she got hit in the head or something because he says that he's gay. And then everybody starts chanting, he's gay, he's gay. So QT Marshall and Aaron Solo interrupt. And they reference John Cena by saying that you can't see me, man. That he preferred when the you can't see me, man did that gimmick. And he didn't have his ass up Daddy's ass's head. So I'm not sure what the whole point of this segment is. He said if she got hit in the head by a kangaroo. Yeah, because I think she's Australian. So it seems to me like they're setting something up with QTV and the Acclaimed and Dandy Ass. But one other thing, this was the debut of Johnny TV, or as we all know him, John Morrison. I don't know why he went with Johnny TV. I like Johnny Elite better. But he probably went with TV because it's QT TV, maybe. That's the reason why he went to it. But it doesn't surprise me that he did go to AEW. His wife, Taya Valkyrie, is in AEW. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But we'll see what they do with Johnny TV. But what did you guys think of this segment and on Johnny TV's debut? So we get the opening match of the Owen Hart Foundation. It's Skye Blue versus Anna JAS. This was a decent match. Let me see. QTV and Stay Off TV. Johnny TV went from The Miz to WWE to another loser of a team in QTV. So, Skye Blue is being showcased a lot as of late, and she's actually pretty good. So this match wasn't bad. I don't know if you guys heard that. Sorry, my window's open. You know, Anna JAS came out with Matt Menard and Angela Parker. They did their best to try to help Anna J, but unfortunately, Skye Blue was victorious here after she hit the super kick and then a cold blue to Anna J. So Skye Blue is moving on. She will face the winner of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Ruby Soho. Johnny TV has more names than Jericho and Dean Malenko combined have holds. That's funny. Skye Blue is still a jobber. Well, she's getting better. So our main event was Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Douki. I'm not too familiar with Douki. It was the first time I've ever seen Douki wrestle. He was actually pretty good. I don't know if anybody caught this, but the crowd was actually booing Jungle Boy during this match. They booed him. But this was a really good match, and Jungle Boy used Sandaya's finisher Skull and to Douki to win by submission. So he was certainly sending a message to Sandaya. And not only that, you could tell that Jungle Boy, he was being booed. He wasn't happy with that. He didn't seem to like that. So I will say, and I said this before, I said this on my other stream, and I will say it again. I'm going to call it right now. And one notable thing here was that Jungle Boy was not at ringside. So like I said during my Dynamite stream, and I'll say it here again tonight. If Jungle Boy does turn heel, he's going to turn heel. He's going to take that FTW title off of Hook. He's turning on Hook. He will take that title off of him. You heard it here first. Okay? He's turning heel on Hook and taking that title off of him. And I said, it's all leading up to Jungle Boy turning heel, and I agree with you on my live chat last night of him facing Hook. Yeah, exactly. See, thank you for agreeing with me. He's turning heel. He's going to take that title off of Hook. Because remember, Jungle Boy said he's going to win a title. He didn't specifically say which title. He just said a title. So, he's taking that title off of Hook. And then Sandaya comes out, and he confronts Jungle Boy, and he holds up his title, closing AEW Rampage. So, honestly, Rampage was just your run-of-the-mill Rampage. Nothing big happened. I will say this. I liked it better than Friday Night SmackDown. He's turning heel Sunday at Forbidden Door. I can see that. I can totally see him turning heel on at Forbidden Door. But I did like... So if I had to compare the two, SmackDown and Rampage, I definitely would pick Rampage over SmackDown. 3 out of 10 mid Rampage, but it was better than SmackDown. Exactly. So I would give this... I'd give this a 5 out of 10. It wasn't too bad. I like the opening match. I like the main event. The women's match wasn't too bad. The only thing I didn't like really was the Acclaimed match. There was no reason for them to be facing jobbers. So I give it that. And I choose Rampage as the better show. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching, you guys. Are you going to check? Yes, I am. I'm going to check it out. I actually did watch last week's. I just didn't do a review on it. But thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. I know it's late where some of you guys are at right now, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I am going to do a review for Collision and for Forbidden Door and for Raw. So 3 reviews back to back. Also my long-awaited unboxings are going to be out on Tuesday, but I want to know from you guys, what do you guys want to see first? You want to see the Astro Megazord unboxing or the Black and Gold Dino Megazord unboxing? Let me know in the live chat or in the comment section if you're watching this on the replay. And with that being said, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow after Collision. Bye.